Moving forward into the 1980s, in 1983, Keene's first parking structure was built. Maybe you parked in it this evening as you came to City Hall, but it's the deck behind City Hall. And it was there recognized as a way to initiate or provide some assistance for economic development, in this case, housing. So it was constructed along with Central Square Terrace, the affordable housing that is next door to us, and in fact to support the businesses on the ground floor of that project. And a partnership, a public-private partnership. And in 1983, a report stated that parking figures show that a shortage of parking and any resulting dissatisfaction from shoppers is mainly perception that parking is a problem. And it recommended education as a way to help people know where to park and find available parking spaces at the time. And in 1988, the Downtown Parking and Maintenance Commission was established. And then in 1986, a free parking experiment took place. This was in 1985 and 1986, where I believe, by the reading of the history, that the meters were simply removed based on the idea that they were inhibiting business patrons and degrading the experience of shopping in downtown Keene. And interestingly enough, it was the merchants that recommended that the prohibition or the free parking experiment be ended and brought back because they appreciated the high turnover rate of parking spaces in front of their stores. So again, you watch the sort of change of attitude toward parking. And in the final slide on 1980 refers to the 1986-1987 downtown revitalization project, a $2.5 million project that upgraded our downtown to what we know it to be today. And it was perhaps, in my view anyway, the most significant and character-defining project in Keene's recent history. And Keene was parking was a key element of that. But it also recognized the importance of the pedestrian in that environment as well. And interestingly enough, just today, City of Concord is going through a very similar process, trying to modify and improve their streetscape. And what's the most vexing problem for them? Parking. How to find that mix where creating space for enough of these things to happen on their in a limited space, parking, green space, a good space for pedestrians. It's a tough problem no matter where you go. In the 90s and 2000s, 1993 Keene Downtown Revitalization Committee subcommittee report addressed downtown parking problems. 1994. Railroad land parking strategy is developed. This is shortly after the city would have bought the railroad property in the early 90s or late 80s. In 1994, the city is getting more up to speed with the way we manage and regulate parking through its enforcement process, and creates an overall survey of all spaces so that we know the changes that are taking place. And in 1998, the Well Street deck was constructed. That's the area behind the EF Lane Hotel. And of course, was part of the way to attract new development in our downtown and support the new businesses and the investment that took place. Should point out that both of the decks that have been constructed since '83 were built with tax increment financing, an early